can't be everywhere at once. As a person who's tried to do this for 23 years. Whoa. As a person who's tried to do this for 32 years, I realized that you can't be everywhere. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? This is a question that I'm pondering at the moment when I consider honing in on my skill set, giftings, careers, places where I want to provide influence, right? And it's a hard question because I'm a person who is, I would say I'm extroverted, even though pandemic has turned me slightly more introverted. I don't know how to handle myself in social settings nowadays, but I want to be everywhere. I like being around people. I get my energy from folks, even when it's conversation or spaces where there is some awesome culture changing occurring. But even then, being in as many places as I can stretches me in multiple places where I cannot be as effective as I want to be, as the desire to be, as what's necessary for the space that I'm in, right? And it proves the disservice, burns me out, makes me disloyal, or people are unable to trust me because I'm trying to uphold the world in many different ways. So I'm in this junction often, and I'm reflecting on in the past, right, where I would try to be everywhere, do all the things, and I would just be focusing on myself. So I'll be like, yeah, I can figure it out. And typically what I tell myself is, if I'm there, I'm there. Like if I'm in the seat, I'm present, I'm there. But if I'm not in the seat or I'm not in that space, I'm thinking about whatever space I'm in. But as I'm stepping into more of this coaching and consulting space and being a thought leader and helping shape culture changing in community changing in that way, these need to be concepts I need to be processing and thinking about, and think about the specific type of communities I want to help shape that for, and then build relationships with others who may be a part of the other entities that I want to be a part of, and just build connections and relationships to help be an influence and be a support in that way. But doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be there at all times. And so on top of that, I'm a whole husband. I'm a whole father. And that's going to continue to be an area where I want to be more focused on. So your boy got to choose. Everybody got choices. How do you make these decisions? As I'm processing that question of where do I want to be, I think a lot of it centers on the values. A lot of it centers on the goals and the type of people that I want to be around. So I ain't got no answers, but these are things that I'm pondering on the patio, right? Pondering on the patio. Ooh, that might be a series there, a segment. This is Ray White and I'm pondering on the patio. This is what I'm pondering. I like that actually. So as I'm pondering on the patio, this perspective of where do I want to be, I want you to ponder with me. Where do you want to make the greatest impact as a leader? Where do you want to leave your mark? And how do you go all in and being attentive and focused towards leaving your mark there? Shout out to my mentor, Jeremy Williams. He told me years ago, you can really only juggle 3 to 5 things at a time. And I'm learning as I get older, that number needs to be 1 to 2 things. I'm gonna do my best to keep it at 3. But what are the 3 things that you're like, you know what? I'm about this, this, and this. And I can love all the things around that. But if I need to shift these 3 pillars, if I need to shift these 5 pillars in any way, it has to be something that's monumentous, that truly moves mountains. Because these are the areas that I say, I'm sticking my foot in the ground and saying, I want to make an impact here, right? So that could be the type of people you were hanging out with. That could be the type of work that you do, type of communities that you're a part of, type of organizations that you're a part of, the type of, again, values and message that you want to share, but being sure that you're sticking true to those things and start cultivating and developing that every day. Because as you're processing that today, the words that you use today may be different than the words that you use tomorrow, but you are consciously thinking about it and actually working towards it to where you can hone in on what that message and again provide that clarity. Because what I'm learning is you don't get clear on those things until you start doing the things. Like I thought that being a football coach was something I wanted to do, right? Doing sports and football. But as I got older, I'm realizing that no, I love it, but that's not where I want to be. I like the coaching aspect of it. I like the influence and the ability to help support other people. But through the vehicle of football, through the vehicle of sports, is not it. So how do I leverage that same feeling and concept into the new space of DE&I consulting, of fatherhood, right? Of being a mentor, things like that. And as I keep diving deeper into that, it's going to keep developing more and more. So that's what I want you to do. Is consider the question, ponder on the question, where do you want to be? And what type of influence did you want to make onto your neighborhood, your community, city, state, neighborhood, the world? And what changes do you need to make to move into doing that consistently on a regular basis with high effectiveness? That's what I'm pondering on the patio.